Anansi, Anansi, Kweku Anansi, the spirit that embodied my ex. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Curriculum Conversations with your host, Lavinia Stennett. And today we're going to be discussing one of the most popular Caribbean stories, which is about Anansi. But also, it's not just Caribbean, it came from the Akan tradition in Ghana, where there was this person called Anansi, right? And his whole role as one of the most revered gods in the Akan tradition is the fact that he was able to transform himself, right? Trick people, use cunningness and wisdom to be able to get himself out of situations. And when I grew up, it was one of the most popular stories that I remember being able to share with other people of Caribbean heritage. And then also, the most read book probably in my household. My mom would be like, go and read that one. And it was actually my favorite. I'd pick it up, I'd see the drawing, which had this guy with long legs and like this face that was just so funny. And it would just be a story where I would understand the value of knowing basically how to engage with situations that required me to think on the spot, right? And in dangerous situations, how to get myself out of them. And I think it's one of the stories that have not only found itself across Jamaica, Trinidad, Suriname, Guyana, the list goes on, but it's one of those stories that also have gone towards the USA. So it has different names, of course. And Anansi is not just a character, he's also a god that is revered in the Akan tradition. And for us, when we're thinking about some of the things that we were able to survive as people of African descent, this is part of our culture. It's part of the oral storytelling. It's part of being able to continue the legacy of where we've come from, storytelling, wisdom, proverbs, and everything else that comes with actually knowing where we've come from and our history. And it's deeply intertwined with nature. Duh, because that's all we were exposed to. Nature was our first mode of education. So when we're thinking about this being that was able to transform himself from a spider into other things, we're utilizing the role of nature in actually being able to educate ourselves on things that we probably should know, that will take us years to be able to condense into a written form if we were in the West. So when I think about revering our not only spirituality and also our storytelling, Anansi is like the perfect embodiment and example of the living tradition that has survived and found its way in the Caribbean. So yeah, this is something that I think needs to be taught in terms of cultural storytelling, not only in our families, but also in school, because like it shows up in every situation. We all need an Anansi predicament in our lives to know how to get out of certain things. Okay, so that's it for today for Curriculum Conversations. Stay tuned for more.